What is going on, everybody? This is Lawrence from Sim Coaches, and I'm extremely excited because if you are watching this video, then that means you have downloaded Visor and you are watching so you can learn how to use it. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover what Visor is, the features, the benefits, and what we intend Visor to be as we move forward, because it's going to be our hub, and it's very exciting. So let's go over what Visor is first. So when you download Visor, this is the first screen that you're going to see is your account login. Now, it is required. You have to create an account to use Visor. So we're going to start off with that first. You're going to come down here. You will put in your name. Now, the reason why we have you guys create an account is make sure you use, by the way, an email here that you're able to log into. The reason why we have you guys create an account is because right now, it's used for debugging. If the software crashes, there's a problem with your pedals, things like that, it lets us know what happens so that we're able to fix it and make things better in the future. Now, going forward, as we update Visor, you're basically going to be able to save, and you could send different output graphs. We're going to have setups, and we're going to have different iRacing data and things like this that are going to be super beneficial to you in the future, and you have to have an account. So make sure that you guys create your account. It is required. You have to have an account. Okay, so you'll put in your password that you want to use, and then you're going to press create account. Now, after you press create account, it is going to say a confirmation email has been sent. Now, right to your email, which I have just gotten it is going to send you a little confirmation. You can see mine there. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to open up that email, and on this next page here, you say that it says that it has a code. So you will enter your code 0798F, and then you're going to press activate account. Now after your account has been activated, you press up here on the top, come down to where it says remember me so that your account is remembered. You don't have to worry about logging in anymore, and then press log in. Okay, so you know you've logged in correctly when up here on the top left it says logged in green, you see your name, and then there's a token number. In the future, we're going to fill this page with a lot more information to make it actually like a full account so we can do a lot more. Today, what's super exciting is right here underneath the hardware tab. So if you click on hardware, you're going to actually see all the accesses for your pedals and the handbrake if you have one. So on the left side, we have our accesses, the 4 of them. Access 1 or 0, 1, 2, and 3. That would be for the throttle, the brake, the clutch, and the handbrake. And so if I press on the clutch, you can see it's there. Press on the brake, you can see it's that one. And if I press on the clutch, it's that one. Now, there is no rhyme or reason to the way that they're listed out in this list. It all has to do with the way that they're plugged in to the little dongles that are hanging out the backside of the clutch pedal. So my very first one, Axis 0, this is throttle. So we're going to start with this one first. Okay. Before we can play any game, we need to we want to make sure we calibrate the pedals right here in the software. Okay, so the very first thing we have up here on the top is actually the label. So for the left side where it says Axis 0, I can make this read and say throttle. So in the future, I can remember which one it is. Okay, so that's my throttle. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my range. So right now with no pressure on the pedal at all, it is sitting at about 62. So what I'm going to do right here underneath, I'm going to put that as my minimum, set min. Click that button. I'm going to press the throttle all the way down, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press set max. But actually, before I press set max, I don't like it when I put my throttle all the way down to the floor, because sometimes during like long races and whatever, I don't like putting that much pressure to it. So one thing that I actually do is I go full throttle, and then I lift off the throttle just a little bit. I can see full throttle is about 237. I'm going to lift off to about 210-ish, and that's going to be my full throttle point. So what I'm going to do is while I'm holding it there, I'm going to hit set max. And so now when I get to there in the stroke, that's going to be my full throttle point. I can still press a little bit more past that, but that means that when I'm going down the straight, I don't have to hold the pedal really hard. I know I'm always going to get a nice full throttle out of it. Okay, so when I lift off, there's no throttle. I press all the way, I get to full throttle. Now, if you want to make little minor adjustments, there's a plus and there's a minus for the min and the max values right here. Now, underneath both those is the dead zone. The dead zone actually controls the minimum number. So I like putting a little bit of a dead zone down there on the bottom, because sometimes I rest my foot on the pedal like this, and with how fast and how crisp the sensor and the electronics read, the smallest little pressure actually reads and pops up. So I'm going to put a small little dead zone here. We'll put just a little 10% dead zone. And what that means is about 10% of the range from 62 to 211 is not actually going to count for when I get on the throttle. So you can verify that here with these two bars that are underneath, this red and the green one. So when I press the throttle this little bit, you can see in the video here, it fills up this red bar, but it doesn't. The games actually won't see this this value. Okay, so that little bit of the stroke won't be seen. Now once it gets to right about 77, was that 77? Then that's when it starts reading, okay? Because I took off the first 10% of the stroke off. All right. So now that pedal is set. You can do the same for your braking. You do the same for your clutch, and we'll speed past those parts of the videos when I get to those. But one thing that's really cool that all the pedals have as well is they have the curve feature. So now the curve feature is where you can actually change the output of each one of the pedals. So what we've been able to do is we've put 4 points on this graph, and you can actually change and you can move these points up and you can move them down. And you can really set these curves to make them really match exactly what it is that you want. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that you've been spinning out when you're coming on the exit of the corners. Every single time you come on the exit of the corner, you always spin out. It's because you get on the throttle just too aggressively. What we can do is you can change the output curve to something that looks something like this. So when you get on the throttle, it takes a little bit longer in the output or in the stroke for it to actually give the output of that throttle. Okay, so you can see here, look at how far in I am pressing on this throttle. I'm about halfway in the stroke right now, and only 5% of the output of the pedal is actually being output. And then when I press just a little bit more, that's when it actually ramps up. So you could change the way that these graphs actually read to match your driving style. So the complete opposite of that would be someone that is too timid when they get on the throttle. They get on the throttle really too slow, so it takes them a really long time to get to full throttle. So what we would do then is we would make the beginning of the throttle pedal give more output. So check this out. When I barely press on the throttle, look at how fast it actually gives an output in the beginning of that stroke, and then it starts to slow down towards the end of the stroke. Okay, so that would be for somebody that's a little bit more timid. And you could just completely change these outputs to whatever it is that you want. You can fine-tune them. Now, we have model 0 to model 4, so that gives us 5 different spots that we can actually put them here. You're going to want to save, and you're going to want to put a label so you can remember exactly which one of these are. So maybe this one, you like putting this as the F1 throttle. And so what you would do is you'd come in and you'd say, okay, that's my F1 throttle. And then you go and you set the label for the F1 throttle. Okay? And then so now, after you press set label, number 0 here is going to become F1 throttle. So you can always go back and you can remember exactly which this one is. Okay? Okay, so one thing that I want to show you really quick that's very cool. That's a feature that you would use on your brake pedal more times than not, is this bar right here that says output limit. So now what output limit actually does is it's going to limit the top end of the pedal's output. So the best example that I can give that to you is, let's say that you're racing and you are constantly locking up when you come into the corner. You press on the brake and you lock up. You press on the brake, you lock up. You press on the brake, you lock up. You find that lockup is happening at about 90% brake pressure. What you would do is you can take this output limit and you would stop it right under the lockup level. So if lockup is at 90% brake pedal pressure, you put output limit at 89% brake pressure pedal limit, and what's going to happen is everything over 89%, you can see here, even if this bar is going up, it's not actually going to be red in the game. So then you would never actually be able to get to that lockup level anymore. So it's the most beneficial on the brake pedal if you're finding that you're locking up constantly, that you can go and you can put in this output limit so you don't get to lockup level or the lockup limit in the game. So I wanted to show you that for the brake pedal. Okay, so after you have gone and you've calibrated all the pedals on Visor, you're going to go in and you're going to jump on the game that you are playing. So in our case, it's going to be iRacing. Now you can see right here it says pedals. They are unassigned. There's nothing assigned to the pedals right now. So all you need to do now is press on the pedals because we've already calibrated them in Visor. So to press the throttle pedal fully and release it, I've already set what my min and max is, so all the way on, off, done. Depress the brake fully and release it. Now, I forgot that I have an output limit at 89%, put it to 100, and you can see that it works. But if I did move that output limit, just here so you can see, if I moved it to 83, you don't want to do this on the calibration because that would actually limit it here in iRacing, but you can see how it actually stops reading it. Okay, so output limit 100%, 0 to 55, hit done, and then calibrate auto detect the clutch all the way. Okay, done. Okay, so after you've calibrated your pedals, next thing is you can go in and you can use them. I want to show you guys how you can go in and you can actually edit the output of your pedals in real time. So we're going to do that with the throttle. Right now we are at Tsukuba in the Formula Renault 2.0. So you can see the throttle pedal the way that the output of it is here. I have it set to this one that we've labeled brake curve. If I come in and I change to F1 throttle curve, it'll actually change to this curve now in real time. So if you have 3 screens, or like I said, in the future when we make it to where it can overlay on top of your guys' screen if you're using VR or something like that. All of these things that we've made them, you can 100% editable in real time while you're playing a game. So we're going to keep editing this stuff. We're going to keep making it better. And like I said, we intend for Visor to be more than just a spot where we change output curves and things like that for our hardware. Visor is going to grow into our hub for our software as we move forward. We're going to do like data. We're going to do the pedals and the handbrake and even other hardware that we're going to make. All those curves and things like that will all be controlled through Visor and more. So that's basically Visor. One last thing that we put up here is the Get Help button. If you guys click that, it's going to take you right over to the Discord help page. It's basically just a quick link so you can get over there and let us know of any help that you might need. So with that, guys, I'm extremely excited for you to jump on Visor this weekend, play with it, have a great time. It is now going to take our pedals to the next level, and we are going to continue to upgrade them and make them even better, as you can see with this. So we've got a lot planned. Visor allows us, Brandon has gone in and written this, you guys, from the ground up. Visor allows us to do a lot of cool stinking things. It's like the sky's the limit, and I seriously mean that. So with that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Have a whole lot of fun. Let us know what you think of Visor. And yeah, with that, I'm gonna get out. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.